okay, so if that's sales rep A and that's sales rep B, where are they storing the last time that they spoke to opportunity X? And the business leader goes, I don't know. And you're like, boom, there's the problem. And you ask them, what impact does that have on your sales efforts? And they're like, well, I don't know what's going on. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the HubSpot Mentors Podcast, brought to you by Red Pandas Digital. I am very excited to be here. I'm Tasha, by the way, and I'm joined by my colleague and very good friend, Solution Seeker Semih. How you going, Semih?
That's a very interesting nickname.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Now, I feel like we need to vanguard this episode because there is some arborists outside cutting a tree down.
Yeah, someone carving out a tree for new life.
On our very first pilot episode. So forgive us if the sound's a bit funky. We're going to do our best to avoid it. But if you hear it, it should only be today. Now, let's get back to the podcast. This is our very first episode. And the idea of this podcast is really, it's designed for anyone struggling with business problems that HubSpot can solve. Or if you're a HubSpot user and you're looking to master using HubSpot through real world experiences, that's what we're here for. Semih and I have made enough mistakes so that you don't have to. And we're really keen to share some of those learnings with you over the many, many years of us using HubSpot.
Absolutely.
All right. So for our very first topic, which I'm very excited to talk about, if you can't tell by the energy that I'm like almost screaming at, is Semih, go ahead. Tell us, what's our first topic?
It's basically organizing your people, right? I know it sounds a little vague.
Tell me more.
It sounds a little vague, but it's like how do businesses before HubSpot manage their people?
Which people?
The people that communicate with, contact with. That's basically your Excel sheets, your Google Sheets, your Outlook, right? Your phone, your text messages, everything to do with that. That's how people manage it, right? Before HubSpot and there's after HubSpot, right? So we'll talk about a couple of the pain points that people that don't use a CRM or not familiar with a CRM that go through face-to-face, right? So the biggest one that we normally see is growth pains.
All right. So specifically what Semih is talking about is when businesses come to us with these like mammoth spreadsheets, and I'm talking like multiple tabs, like thousands of people, and exactly what Semih is saying, they've just got these growing pains because it started off with two people in like a co-working space and they had one spreadsheet just managing, people that called or people that did a web inquiry.
Yeah.
Okay, they had a first name, last name, email, what they asked about, and the last time they contacted them. It's all well and good when you're a small business and you're not getting that many inquiries, but we have seen time and time again, as these businesses are growing, these spreadsheets cannot physically keep up.
Yeah, so they have one spreadsheet to manage their salespeople. They have one spreadsheet to manage their customers. They have one spreadsheet to manage their client, their contacts and blah, blah, blah. So what happens is like, if you want to find something, you don't know what to look at. And you're spending 4 hours trying to find something that's going to actually get you some results. So
that's it. And
that's
we call that
problem, man.
We call that no single customer view, right? We like to have sexy words for random stuff here at Red Pandas, and not having a single customer view. So one source of truth, one place to go to and say, okay, cool, here's John Smith and he inquired on the 1st of February in 2023 and he wants to know about X and we've sent him 5 emails and the last time we spoke to him was 2 weeks ago and he's opened 10 marketing emails. Like none of that can be captured in a spreadsheet unless you're like, constantly updating it inside out, daily up. Like you probably can't. You just physically can't, right? So this no single customer view. Each team member has their own way of storing information. You mentioned before, Semih, someone might have some stuff in an Outlook over here. They've got like a task manager over there. Then they've got like an address book on their desk with like pen and paper, which I didn't realize still existed, but people do it. And some of the more, aggravating pain points of that, Semih, is deals are being lost. Like how many times have we seen customers come to us and say, I don't know how many opportunities I'm losing, but I know I'm losing them.
Yeah.
Because they're not tracking anything.
Absolutely.
And they've got one sales rep in one part of Australia, another one in another part of Australia, and no one knows who's doing what.
You know what just came to my mind?
Yeah.
Imagine like you go to a doctor and instead of doctor having like a history of like how many times you've been there or not, they're like, hold on, let me just find when was the last time you came here and what was you diagnosed with, right?
100%.
Trying to figure out what that looks like. That's you on a day-to-day basis if you don't have a clean CRM that you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
Lost opportunities, no visibility. Man, these are all the big problems.
Yeah.
Right?
And how many times, Semih, have we had people come to us for random other like inquiries for, digital marketing, let's say, and then we realize that they don't even know they have a problem.
Yeah.
They don't even know.
Does.
And then we end up in these, quote unquote sales calls. They're more like discovery and solution finding calls where we're asking specific questions to help them realize that is a problem. We might say something like, okay, so if that's sales rep A and that's sales rep B, where are they storing the last time that they spoke to opportunity X? And then the business leader goes, I don't know. And you're like, boom, there's the problem. And you ask them, what impact does that have on your sales efforts? And they're like, well, I don't know what's going on. So what we're sharing is, like I said before, we've experienced this. We've heard it from hundreds of business owners and leaders' mouths before. And these are real pain points that we've experienced. So
I'll give you a story, right? I had my own business beforehand. So I had a client I was working with before. We just, we communicated bits and pieces, and then they didn't have finances. So we put the project on hold. 1.5 years later, he calls me out of the blue. Lucky I had HubSpot in there, right? It popped up, his name popped up. I had completely forgot about him, right? There was no way, right? Called me and I was like, interesting. I don't recall anyone, so I just hung up and then opened up HubSpot. Remembered, looked at the history, remembered what conversations were about, what was the last thing we did. Called him back up to 5 minutes or 2 minutes after doing that. I was like, hey, blah, 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 XYZ, his name was. And then it was like, it's great to hear you. What happened, mate? You dropped, we lost contact. Did you get your money back, or did you figure it out, And then at the end of the call, he was like, how'd you remember me? Because there's no way I would have remembered. I was like, mate, I can't forget you, right?
I have a CRM. There's
I can't forget you. There's no way I can forget you.
We've 100% that's
lost opportunities.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Semih just showed you a real life example as how you lose opportunities without a CRM or keep them with a CRM, right? So now we know without a CRM, just a spreadsheet as your solution is not a solution. So enter in HubSpot. So this is a HubSpot podcast. We are HubSpot partners. We will only recommend HubSpot as your CRM. Yes, there's many out there, but some might say we bleed orange because we love HubSpot. So we're only going to talk about HubSpot.
Sure. Take it a little bit too far for me there. No, I just want to solve a problem. That's all there is, right?
That's all there is, right? So HubSpot CRM and Sales Hub is the solution. It's some people might say, it could be a glorified address book. It's way more than that. But step one is just not using a spreadsheet and putting it into a CRM.
I'm happy with glorified spreadsheet address book, to be honest with you, because at least this way
you're using it.
You're using it.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. So the idea of a CRM or a customer relationship management tool, it's foundational for managing those relationships. Without it, you can't scale. You can't scale a spreadsheet. Yeah. You can't scale sales activities if they're not logged on a CRM, right?
Yeah, if you don't have the contact information or database, if you don't know where, if you don't know what business they work with, what company they work with, you don't know how many times they looked at your website, if you don't know any of that information, how are you, and you're spending all that time trying to figure that out. How's it affecting your bottom line?
Well, you're not going to have very good sales conversations, number one.
Absolutely.
And then that's going to affect your bottom line, right? So why HubSpot, unlike other CRMs, Salesforce, it's customizable without needing a developer. So you can still get a lot of flexibility and customizations without the headaches of having to brief a developer and then pay them some astronomical amount to maintain that customizations, right? So we love HubSpot for the reason that anyone can use it. It's very easy.
Yeah, I had a client the other day who wanted me to show him how to do an import. I just, got the Excel sheet, cleaned that up, and then ran through the HubSpot import wizard, right? And started creating custom properties within the wizard.
Amazing.
And he was just like, oh, so you're telling me it's all done now? It's like, yep, here's a report. Easy. Here's all the links. It created all your drop-down selects, your multi-selects. It created all that stuff for you.
Yep.
And now you just need to utilize your CRM.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's just
so HubSpot as a solution, like Semih said, importing your data, easy, piece of piss. I can say that, can't I? If you need to bleep it out, it's fine. But otherwise, it's streamlining your data, right? So HubSpot's got a ton of AI features that have come out in the last couple of months. And they are, when you're importing these contacts, they're also enriching the contacts with information it can find online to give you who that person works for, maybe how big the company is, their title, that type of stuff, right? So we can start to learn more about that person. So it's not just a spreadsheet that you've manually entered someone into now. We're talking about an artificially intelligent database that's getting fueled and updated every single day that you're working in it and you're logging activities.
Yeah. on that note as well, when we're talking about HubSpot beforehand, and it's like, what came to my mind, and I recommend this to a couple of our clients, was utilizing the forms function in HubSpot where you drip collect information to update your CRM, right? So for example, you've got a membership business and you're trying to collect everyone's member. Have your membership form as a form in your HubSpot. So therefore your CRM is up to date.
Yeah.
As they fill out this membership form per yearly, that then updates your CRM, so you don't need to do all that stuff.
Yeah,
anyway,
so good. Semih,
so easy, man.
You're sharing. Easy. I love that you're sharing like some real tactical examples of the airy fairy fluffy shit that I'm saying.
Look, at the end of the day, after this, episode, if you're not taking anything to do out of this episode, then don't listen.
Yeah, well, give us a feedback because then obviously we haven't done it right.
Yeah, don't listen. Or just tell us. That was a pretty bad comment. Like, that was a pretty bad episode. But again, the whole objective of this podcast is so that you can take away something and you can do something straight away, right?
Exactly. So 2 more things as to why we love HubSpot. I could probably talk about HubSpot all day long. Like I said, I bleed orange. But garbage in, garbage out. We will say this all the time. So to Semih's point before about activities and doing certain things, if you are putting crap into the spreadsheet or into HubSpot, oh my goodness, into HubSpot, you're going to get crap out as well. So the power of the reporting and the analytics that you can get on your sales activities, your bottom line, your data that you were talking about, those custom properties, is insanely powerful. Yeah. Only as good as the reps putting that data in.
Absolutely.
Right?
So I think the most important thing here, as you mentioned, garbage in, garbage out, is organizing your data in a way where every information that you need to collect is in the right object, the right place.
Yep.
Because if it's not, then collect as much information you want, create as many properties you want. Data won't work for you, right?
Yep.
So what we've done is we created a HubSpot property trigger list.
Yep.
Right? Which gives you some recommended triggers that you should highlight and think about and putting into your database if you started off with HubSpot new or anyone else, right?
Yep.
But we'll link it in the shows or show note or in YouTube, wherever we can put it in for you to download and make use of it, right?
Yeah, amazing.
So you don't have garbage in, garbage out.
I really like that property trigger list, Semih. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, I know. When I thought about it, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's awesome. So like Semih said, it's probably best for people that are just starting out on HubSpot. But if you're in HubSpot and you're up for a data cleanse, by all means, this is definitely a good tool for you to add to your data cleansing process. Finally, flexible pricing. Back in the day, HubSpot was super expensive for everyone at any point. But they've got some better flexible models of pricing now. The CRM is free and it always will be, right? That's what they say. So we won't go into the complicated seats model of pricing, but there are flexible pricing models for different size businesses.
Mate, like I said, if you're going to use it as a glorified address book, use it as a glorified. It's for free.
It's free.
You get five user update properties you can do with that.
Yep.
Man, it's a no-brainer for even small business or
that's it.
Wherever.
What's this pro tip here you have, Semih?
You can even use tools like ChatGPT to clean up your data before importing.
Have you got experience doing this?
Yes, I actually do. Right.
That's why I ask.
It's so interesting because I was running the example with my client and it was like, how'd you come up with these formulas to clean up your data? I was like, I just didn't even think about it. I was like, I just used ChatGPT to say, hey, I need this to be cleaned up. Can you just do it? And just spit out this formula, just copy, cut, paste formulas into my Excel sheet. And that was it. So using AI or using other tools to really look after your database. Mm-hmm. Again, your database will then help you look after your people.
Yeah,
because that's what HubSpot CRM is about, right?
That's it. And then you're not going to have a messy database. You're not going to have impact on your bottom line because you're going to know where your sales opportunities are up to, who to go after, who to follow up, who not to follow up, and who you can upsell to or cross-sell or whatever it is that you're trying to sell.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. So what I'd love to share in our next segment is a featured feature. Yes?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
You're like, okay. All right. So a featured feature, and those of you listening along, head over to our website so that you can watch the demo because I'm going to take us through what's called saved views. All right, so saved views in HubSpot are essentially a powerful tool that allows you to create a customized filter and layouts for your data, right? So think of your spreadsheet and your columns and your filters and your tabs. It's kind of like that. So whenever I train anyone on HubSpot, I'm always like, they're ex-spreadsheet users, so I have to give them something they can relate to. So I'm like, all right, cool, views. This is easy. You can get this. So I take them over to views, and the best part is views are available for everyone on every HubSpot tier. You can use them across contacts, tickets, companies, and deals. I'm going to demo deals. Very flexible. You can filter them based off of any data that's in HubSpot. And I think on the paid levels, you can do cross-object filtering as well. So you can see deals and contacts in one view, which is pretty cool, right? If you're familiar with how HubSpot works. So when you're in your portal, you want to navigate over through to deals, contacts, companies. This process applies to all of the objects, right? And then up the top here, you have some preset filters. So deal owner, create date, last activity date, close date, for example. And then you have advanced filters. Like I said before, any data in HubSpot you can filter off of. So on the side here, you can go through absolutely anything. If you want to see a particular import, if you want to see deals won in a period of time, if you want to see companies that have more than one deal with you or have ever had more than one deal, if you want to see deals above a certain amount of value to you, you can do that as well. Let's just use one of the preset filters so you can get a feel for how it works. Up the top, you can see how many records you have in your total view. So in this view, I've got 49 deals. If I go over to deal owner, for example, and I can just pre-select me nice and quick, I can easily then filter out all the rest and just see the 25 deals that are mine. So now I've got this deal view here. And then if I wanted to, I can go ahead and save it. So I can clone it. I'd say my deals. I can clone it with everyone. I can keep it private to myself if I want. Once I've saved it, it will then live up the top here as a tab. And so I can constantly come back into HubSpot and see my tabbed deals. And then if I want to take that one next step further, there's these insights here, which kill me. So hide the insights. I think they're wasted real estate, in my honest opinion. Otherwise, they're columns. So by default, I think you'll see deal name, deal stage, close date, and owner. You can go click edit columns and then pick any of the data fields that you have on deals to go into your columns. Once they're in your columns, a few years back, HubSpot released this inline editing feature, which is what I think took this views to the next level, because before that you couldn't do it. So now if I am a sales rep and I'm actively doing some BD or outreach work on a list or a view of deals, I can easily go in here, see who I last spoke to, what I last said to them, and what my next steps are, and make the edits as I need, or open a deal in a new tab and then do the work that I need to do in another tab. There you have it. That's how you do saved views.
I got a question for you.
Please go.
All right. Why would someone use views and not lists?
Oh, that's a really good question. So I would typically say that views are a quick way to see your data, right? So you can go into your object. So let's say it's deals, quickly apply those filters, save them, and then come back to them. They're a bit more real time. You can't report off of them though. So that's where I would say you'd have to go to lists. Mm-hmm. And you can do cross objects in in views, but they're not as flexible as lists. So it's like horses for courses, as some might say. I'd say go to views for quick snapshots of what you want to see across any object, so contact, company, or deals. Go to lists if you want like deeper insights into that data, or you want to use that data for reporting or like workflows or something.
So if you want to work, ultimately, if you want to work on your people, use views.
Beautiful.
If you want to understand your people, use lists.
There you go. Semih just like summarized what I said in like 5 words. That's exactly what you should do. Wow. That's it for this episode, Semih.
That was quick.
Yeah, it was quick. Time flies when you're having fun. Thank you so much for tuning into HubSpot Mentors, where we solve real business challenges using HubSpot's tools. If you want to take the next step, try out HubSpot for yourself. Oh my God, head to our website and ask us to sign you up to HubSpot, because we can do that for you nice and quick and easy. Also, don't forget the property trigger list that Semih mentioned. It's going to be in the show notes. Anything else you want to mention, Semih?
No, I think just give us feedback. Was this helpful? Was this not helpful? If you're facing HubSpot challenges, leave that in the comments. We'll like to read them. So yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. And remember, life's too short for bad CRMs. Ditch the spreadsheets, and we'll see you next time on the HubSpot Mentors Podcast.
Thanks, guys.